people in this poll answered that they came to me confused and they were looking for clarity. And so I want to break down a really simple process, simple, tangible process that you can go through on your own to move away from that confusion. I was talking to my coach this morning as well about how there's just a lot of confusion codes floating in the collective conscious right now, and it seems to be a common theme that's coming up where people are just feeling confused and they're unsure how to navigate decisions and choices and just how to move forward in life right now, because there is so many different things at play that weren't necessarily at play or all at play a year ago or even 6 months ago. So let me know in the comments first if you are feeling confused anywhere in your life. Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling confused? Are you feeling like you don't know what you want, or you don't know where to invest your money or where to put your money to have the most impact and growth in your business? I hear this a lot, and when that is the case, it becomes super challenging and even more confusing to decide on what is the next step that I should take, could take, may take in order to step into my next level. So let's try this out together. I encourage you to participate. If you participate, you're going to get way more out of this than if you just think about it. So what are you confused about? Drop in the comments, what are you currently confused about? So yes, maybe there's this frequency of confusion that's kind of vague and broad, and you're like, I'm just confused about everything. But we're not going to be able to find a clear answer on how to move forward unless you actually know what you're confused about. Here are some examples. I'm confused about what's going to help me up level in my business. I'm confused about how to launch my program. I'm confused about how to book a client. I'm confused about where to find clients. I'm confused about whether this relationship is really serving me anymore. Confused about what's next step to take to grow my business. I'm confused about how to heal this thing in my life or in my body or in my belief system. Drop that below. What are you confused about? That's the first step in clarity, is just knowing. Confusion is opposite of clarity, right? And before we can get out of that zone of confusion, you have to be able to define what you're confused on. Cool? Let's go into step 2. Step 2 is, how is this confusion, this thing that you are feeling confused about specifically, how is that a problem for you in your life? How is this a problem? Because if it's not a problem, there's no motivation likely to actually change and get out of the confusion. But I'm going to guess there is a problem that's surfacing that is an effect of maintaining this confusion state of mind. So for example, if I'm specifically confused about what's going to help me up level in my business, the way that this is a problem, so you can write it in a sentence, this is a problem, or this confusion is a problem because blank. So this confusion around what's going to help me up level in my business is a problem because I'm not taking action, and therefore I'm making no progress in my business. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving forward. That's a problem for me. And it's going to be a problem for you. This is very specific to how you're feeling about this in your life. Have you guys heard the saying, the only bad decision is not making a decision? The only bad decision is not making a decision. There's an analogy from a book that I read quite a while ago in yoga teacher training, but there's a metaphor, there's an imagery that comes up in this book around the fork in the road. And too often, we literally pull out a folding chair, plop it in the center of the road right before you meet the fork, and they're like, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm going to sit on my ass on this chair, and I'm just going to hang out here because I can't decide. I don't know what to do. Do I go to the right side? Do I go to the left side? And it ends up causing way more pain putting that folding chair in the center of the road and camping out for weeks, hours, years, decades than it is the discomfort of maybe just going down the right side and deciding that's not for you, but at least you're moving forward. So again, only bad decisions is not is not making a decision. So let's use another example. The second part of this short workshop is, how is this confusion a problem for you? So we'll use the example of, I'm confused about how to launch. This confusion about how to launch is a problem for me because I have a million ideas and I'm really getting down on myself now because none of them are actually being created. So I'm starting to feel like shit. I'm really starting to just like have this critical self-talk, and that is a problem for me. I don't want to live that way. You share yours in the comments. And let's move on to the third step. So, what is your real reason or excuse for staying confused? Now, hold up for a second, because when I first asked that question, it's very normal that you're not going to have an answer and you're going to be like, I don't know. I don't want to stay confused. I don't think I want to be confused. But the truth is that staying confused is a limiting decision, but it's a limiting decision to stay like that folding chair in the middle of the road. That decision to stay in the middle of the road, that decision to stay confused, is sometimes an unconscious choice we make. So you're not actually thinking in your head, I am going to consciously stay confused about what's going to help me up level in my business. I want to be confused about how to bring in more clients. I think I'm just going to stay here and hang out in confusion about how to heal this thing in my life, or whether I should stay in this relationship or not. Probably not, right? You're probably not actively, consciously saying, I want to stay confused. However, unconsciously, you may be making that decision to stay in the land, the zone of confusion in your life. So this question is really asking you why. And it's asking you, it's inviting you to dig deeper and to really look at the truth or the excuse or the reason behind this confusion. So we're asking why. What is the real reason for staying confused? I'll give you an example. I'm staying confused about what will help me up level in my business because blank. So I'm staying confused about what will help me up level in my business because there's so many options. I'm staying confused about what will help me up level in my business because I don't trust that any of the options will actually work. I'm staying confused about what will help me up level in my business because I'm afraid of wasting my time. You may come up with one answer, then you may actually find that there's multiple layers to why you're staying confused. We'll use the other example that we've been playing with here around how to launch. So I'm staying confused about how to launch because it's easier. It's easier than actually launching. It's easier to just be like, I'm confused, it's too confusing, than to actually do it. I'm staying confused about how to launch because I don't trust myself. I don't actually trust myself to do it. I'm staying confused about how to launch because I'm not actually sure where to find the information, and I probably haven't tried to find it. I'm staying confused about how to launch because I'm afraid that when I do launch, no one's going to enroll or invest or sign up. Those answers really require you to get real, truthful, honest with yourself. So if you need some time to sit with that question and really think about it, take your time. You don't have to share it in the comments right away, but I'm going to be so curious on what your why is. Why are you, probably unconsciously, but now you're becoming consciously aware of it, why are you choosing to stay confused? Now, we're going to categorize your answer or answers to that question into two categories. The first category is generally it's benefiting you in some way. So when I said that it's easier not to launch, that is a way that it's benefiting me not to launch. Let's see, when I said that what will help me up level my business, Those were all fear-based. Yeah. So if it's like underlying underneath somehow benefiting you to stay confused, regardless of what you're workshopping out, then that's the category 1 I want you to notice. So just go through, maybe even check off like, this is actually benefiting me. Then the step you take next to get out of confusion is reprogramming work. Because again, let's go back to that example of it's easier. I'm staying confused about how to launch because it's easier. That is a limiting decision, a limiting belief that needs to be reprogrammed. The fear beneath that needs to be reprogrammed, so that the subconscious no longer thinks that the most beneficial thing for you to stay is to stay in confusion, and your subconscious actually gets motivated to change versus stay where you are, because right now there's a perceived benefit, and we have to reprogram the thoughts, beliefs, resources around that in order for the subconscious, where your motivation lives, to then change. The second category that your answer might fall into is that in some way, so the first answer was it's benefiting me in some way. The second category is that it's scary, negative, or I guess what could also go into that category is like, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. Second category, it's scary, it's negative in some way. I don't know what to do. So when I said I'm staying confused about what will help me up-level in my business because there's so many options, that falls into this category. That's like I just don't know. There's so many options. When I said I'm staying confused about how to launch because I'm fearful of not enrolling anyone, that was a fear, a scary component of the why behind I'm staying confused. If your answer falls into that second category, it could still help you to do some reprogramming work. It's highly likely that would still benefit you. But instead, your main next step is actually just going to be to take action. To take action. So again, let's summarize. If your why benefits you, time for reprogramming work. If your why is scary, negative, you're just in la la land of I don't know, it's time to take some action, some aligned action. So share with me below, what is the next step that you now realize you need to take to move out of confusion? 1, take action. 2, reprogram. Those are the 2 different options. So the truth is that it's not as complicated as you think. We've narrowed down, regardless of what confusion you have in your life to start with, because you all probably started with different things at the beginning of this conversation. Regardless, we've narrowed it down, we've funneled it down into 2 different things to do now to move out of confusion. Reprogramming work or take action. It's not as complicated as you think to move out of confusion. You just have to decide that you're not going to sit in confusion, folding chair, middle of the road anymore. The other truth is that every decision leads to more clarity. Every decision leads to more clarity. So even if I have 2 choices and the fork in the road in front of me, and I decide to take the right one because it's what feels right at the time, and I realize it's not exactly what I needed, there's still clarity that is provided to you in that decision that you made. Because maybe it did help you somewhat, and now it's time again to make another decision, to get more clarity, to get out of confusion, an even deeper layer. And that's still helping you move forward. Maybe it feels like the complete wrong direction and you're like, why did I choose this? That's still information that leads to more clarity, because now you know what you don't need or what doesn't work, or maybe some shadow came up to the surface and there's an opportunity to heal it. So regardless, all these decisions are leading to more clarity. So really ask yourself, if there's fear around making a decision, what is that fear rooted in? What is the root of that fear? Because the decisions are going to lead to clarity. And we say we want to move out of confusion, but what is keeping us there? What is keeping you there? Choices are simple. Action reprogramming, action reprogramming. This is what we do inside of the Empath Leaders membership. We are consistently, every single week, doing reprogramming. On all of our calls, there is opportunity for deep, deep reprogramming in every cell of your body, certainly in your subconscious mind. We bring in techniques and modalities like EFT tapping, subconscious reprogramming, hypnosis, transformational breath work, inner child work, contrastive analysis, neurolinguistic programming, and so much more. And this is a container for you to move out of confusion, to be guided in a very safe place out of the confusion so that you can step into your next level of clarity. But you have to decide that that is something you desire, that you actually want to move out of confusion. And then you have to make a decision. Take action. Every decision leads to more clarity. And guess what? If it's not for you, you don't have to stick around. It is a fluid, organic, living, breathing container that you get to come into. And when you feel complete or you got what you needed, then you don't have to stay around. I want you there, but I only want you there for as long as it's serving you. And if you come in 1 month, you're like, I am crystal clear. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, other empath leaders. Got what I needed. Then I'm going to be like, yes, and I'm going to celebrate you, and I'm going to say, next time you're confused, come on back. We'll still invite you back in. But there's no pressure around it. It's just this beautiful soul family and community to be able to do this work with, and to be able to find the clarity that's going to help you propel your life forward and to feel more confident and grounded in yourself. Does that feel good for you? Is that something you desire? If so, there's 3 days left to join us inside of this membership. The investment is $111 a month. It's a very low invest membership program for the value that you get inside. And again, it's flexible. You can cancel at any time. And in the next 3 days, when you sign up, 30% of your enrollment fee goes to the Loveland Foundation. So there's a ripple effect of your investment in yourself. If you have questions, let me know. I'm celebrating all of you who have already said yes. I cannot wait to continue to support you. And I'm calling in a few more souls. I feel you out there. I feel there's more people who need this work. And if that's you, come on in. We'll take really good care of you. All right. I love you all. Have a good day. And I hope you have more clarity right now.